Well, here we are at the big mysterious shed. It holds wonders and treasures galore. Door opened a little bit and oh, what's this? We see a vehicle that we've never seen before. This one is a 19, I believe, 78 Jeep Wagoneer. We'll double check here, but yeah, this one's an 80. Okay. This one's got a good motor and a bad tranny. Now, this one here is actually kind of a cool vehicle. It's a Grand Wagoneer Limited. Now, this one had a good tranny and a bad motor. But this one's got kind of an options package that's really rare for these vehicles. Or at least, I would assume they're rare because they're things that I have seen very little of. It's got power windows, power seats. Not much special about the gauge cluster, except it's got the power rear window and the rear defrost. A little different steering wheel than you usually see in these. This one maybe is the 78. I can't remember which one's which. But I'm doing this for, actually I'm doing this for my gun dealer, who is a really cool guy. He's a Vietnam vet, been battling with diabetes, very mechanically inclined. I mean, he's more than capable of doing this himself. Very, very capable. But unfortunately, his diabetes, he's been battling with that. He had an infection in one of his legs and ended up losing it. So now he's got a prosthetic leg. Real upbeat guy. But this is my gun dealer. They're the guy that I get guns and ammo from, the place where we go to shoot. Now you guys will probably recognize this vehicle as the Brown Cow. Now this one still runs, but knocks like a son of a gun. Makes all kinds of terrible noise, and I'm getting really anxious to get this one on the road. Unfortunately, I have two major customer jobs that I have to get done before I can start any work on the Brown Cow. And I believe what will end up happening with it, I don't foresee myself finding a 429 for it anytime in the near future. So what I foresee happening is freeing up the 400 that I've got, which I'll show you guys in a minute, and popping that in there, and then maybe doing something with this 400. I'm not sure, but we will see what happens, I guess, along the way. For now, it'll sit in the shed until the two Jeeps and the Intrepid that I'll show you in a minute here are done. Next in line is the Ranger, the Danger Ranger. Now this one as well still runs, but the 2.3, as you guys have seen, it's got fouled plugs now and it burns oil like a son of a bitch. So I'm still doing some dealing. I found out that there is no compatibility between the 4-liter and the 2.3 as far as bell housings go. So I've got to find, I've either got to find an automatic or a manual 4-wheel drive Explorer or Ranger with a 2.8, let me think now, 2.8, 2.9, or 4-liter, because those share the same bell housing pattern as the 4-liter. And I can either put a manual in this, which would be the preferred option, or convert it over to an automatic, which I'd rather not do, but I guess if I had to, I'd do it, you know. And then obviously, you know, like I've told you guys, this one will get converted to 4-wheel drive as opposed to 2-wheel drive, so I'll have a good little ranch truck. It'll be actually be an awesome little ranch truck. So anyways, so that's the story there. Then there's the Chevette, which is just kind of a sad story. You know, after Charlie blew it up, it just kind of languished. This one, too, still runs, but just barely. You don't get much out of it. It's, like I said, kind of a sad basket case. But I digress. I'm not going to dwell on that. It's a car that's probably worth $1,000. It's probably worth $1,000 if it's in really good shape, which, you know, it's in decent shape, but it's not in good enough shape to sell for that. And I'd probably have to put $2,000 into it. Just rebuilding the 1.6 that's in it, the big motor. I think when we quoted out prices, it was like $125 a valve, and so like rebuilding the top end wouldn't even be an option. So I don't even want to dig into the motor. It's just more money and time consuming than I really want to deal with. So sadly, unless we can hatch up some major plans for this car, that would include some kind of a crazy motor swap, because obviously I'm not going to put a 1.6 back in it. If I'm going to swap motors, I'm going to do something with it. I talked about putting a 2.8 in it, but then I find that getting a tranny for that 2.8 is going to be a deal, and on and on and on. It'll sit here, and I might get some ambition. You know, parting this one out is not of my utmost concern, so if I get some projects cleared off the table, and this one's still here, then who knows, it may become a crazy little car. And if not, then I guess it'll go to its final resting place, where that big junkyard in the sky, you know. But anyways, so on down the line we go. Oh, hang on a second here, I have to use the little boy's room.